All right, we are going to run through a quick tutorial on the clock problems. I'm going to walk us through these different problems. So if you feel like you do understand the ones that you're watching, you can go ahead and switch to other ones. So some super important things as we are working with our clock diagram to remember is that every single hour section is 30 degrees. So every hour is 30 degrees, and that will come important as we use this to help divide up our clock later. And then also, every time that the hour hand, every minute goes by, we figured out yesterday the hour hand is going to move half of a degree. So we're going to use those to help us figure out our angles. So let's go down here to 5 o'clock. So first I'm going to redraw the clock. I'm going to do it pretty quickly. Now I would encourage you, once you make it once, or Google is a great resource, you can copy it from there, to make sure that you copy it over before you write over it, because then you have a nice clean copy. So here we go. Here is our clock. I'm going to copy this and paste it for our other examples just so it's here. And we want to be at 5 o'clock. So this is the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9. So specifically at 5 o'clock, things you want to think about is for the hour hand and the minute hand. Are we just at the number? Are we past it? So for 5 o'clock, the minute hand is just on the 12, and the hour hand is going to be perfectly at the 5. So what I usually do from here is I will then divide from the center, figure out how many full sections of these kind of hour chunks that I do have. So I'm going to divide these up to give myself a nice visual. And in this case, because both my hour and my minute hand are completely and perfectly the on the marks here for the hours, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 sections that are each 30 degrees. So that's going to make this 5 section times 30 degrees. That means that these hour hands make a 150 degree angle. So that is part 1. So let's go ahead on to number 2 for 5:15. So we have the center. That's a terrible center. Here we go. There's the middle. And now we are going to move the minute hand to the 3, which is the 15. And then for my hour hand, remember that we will not be just on the 5, we'll be slightly past it. So next up, this helps me out. I'm going to draw a line to every hour mark before I reach the end. And then just for our visual here, I'm going to extend this so I can see what pieces I have. So I have 3 pieces that I need to figure out here. I have one 30-degree piece, another 30-degree piece, and then I need to figure out how many degrees this angle is, and we'll add that on. So what we've said is for every minute that ticks by, this hand is moving 1/2 of a degree. So that means 15 minutes have gone by, half a degree for each one. That gives us 7.5 degrees. So this angle is 7.5 degrees. And then adding everything up, putting everything together, this gives us 67.5 degrees for this angle. Now, just one thing to remind you of real quick, the way that we got the half is because this hand needs to tick 60 times before getting to the next portion. And so then we are going to take 30, divide it by 60 clicks, and that gives us half of a degree per time. For the last 2 examples, we are going to look at some times that maybe have minutes that don't land perfectly on the hour marks. So for the first time, this is going to be 7:12. And this is the example we started with in class when we were working with. So let's first start, I think it's easiest to do the minute hand. So 12 is going to be 1, 2, if I put my tick marks for 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to be right about here. And then for 7 o'clock is going to be somewhere between the 7 and the 8. So that would put us maybe somewhere right around here. So the first thing that I want us to do is still connect from the middle to every hour tick mark that is between our hands. So right here, here, and here. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to look here and figure out how many full sections we have between purple hour marks. That is going to be this one, 30 degrees, this second one, third one, and fourth one. So we have 4 full sections, but we have 2 sections that are not. One goes with the hour hand, and hopefully you should know what to do with that one by now. But we also have a new problem where we have the other one determined by the minute hand, and we're going to tackle that problem here in just a second. So let's keep track of what we have. We have 4 sections that each are 30 degrees, and then we have 12 minutes 12 ticks for our hour hand past the 7, each at half of a degree. So that gives us 120 degrees plus another 6 degrees. And then we need to figure out how far the minute hand has gone or what this angle is. So the angle currently here is shaded in yellow. So what I want us to think about is for the minute hand, it ticks 5 times every section. So 5 times before getting to the next section. So I want to take my 30-degree section and divide it into 5 equal parts to figure out how many degrees per part. That is going to be 6 degrees. So far, every time it moves, it is making a 6-degree angle. So if I, this tiny little skinny wedge in here, this pink, this is a 6-degree angle. It's super small. All right, let's see here. Go ahead and erase that, so 6 degrees. So looking here, between where my hour hand is at, I see there are 3 sections, and those are each 6 degrees. So that is going to be 18 more degrees. So when we add all of those up, that gives us 144 degrees in total. And so that is our final answer here. So let's go ahead and do one last one that uses this and puts it together. One thing you'll notice is that I didn't talk about the fact that it had already moved 2 minutes, but the part that's included in our angle is the 3 times it has left to make this angle. So we can see those 3 divisions here. So lastly is 6:48. So let's go ahead and draw that into our clock. So the 48 is going to be, so we'll divide, there's 4 marks between here. So for 48, that would put the hour hand on the second to last one. And then for the 6 is going to be just by the 7, so just maybe somewhere right about here, and then we'll close it off like that. So we're looking for this angle in here. So next up, as we've seen, hopefully you're getting comfortable with, I think it's helpful to divide it into sections, see what we have as evenly as we can. And that yellow is hard to see. Let me change this to something a little bit darker. Okay, that's better. So looking here, it looks like we have 2 full 30-degree sections. And then we have some sections that are determined by the minutes and the section determined by the hour hand. So here's something interesting that has happened so far. With every example that we've seen, the hour hand, we included it by how far past the previous number we've moved. Well, the 48 minutes that have gone by, that's this section. Sorry, it's not working here. Let me fix this with Notability. That is this section right here. Wow, it really doesn't like it. Here we go. Try this out. There we go. 48 minutes. But that section right there is not inside of our angle, but instead it's this part right here, which is the 12 more minutes it has to get to the next number. So hopefully you can kind of reason here that the 48 minutes, that's not an inside of our angle. That's not the side we're looking for. So I need to figure out how much longer it's going to tick before it gets to the 7. So that is 2 sections of 30 degrees or 60 degrees. And then that is 12 minutes at half of a degree, so that's 6 more degrees. And then let's look at how many ticks we have. We have 3 sections, 3 minutes past here, and those are each 6 degrees, so that gives us a total of 18 degrees. So let's go ahead and add this up. That is 24 plus 60, so that is 84 degrees. So these are our 4 clock problems. If you are watching this, the clock problems will be on the quiz, but they will not count toward your final points. I want to see how you do, but it will not count into the overall score. So keep that in mind here and let me know if you have questions or want to see some more examples.